Hello, and thank you for joining us for this week's edition of It's Your City. I'm your host, Courtney Bloomer. Today's show is brought to you by the 3rd and Curry Street Farmers Market, featuring Nevada-grown produce, organic vegetables and fruits, baked goods, and live music every Saturday morning in Carson City at 3rd and Curry Street. Our guest today is Dana Fruend, the founder of the American Tea Mistresses, formerly the Naughty Tea Mistresses. Yes. Welcome, Dana.
Thank you so much for having me.
It's exciting to have you on and learn all about this important and really interesting historical reenactment group that you have here, the Tea Mistresses. Tell us a little bit about how the Tea Mistresses got started.
Well, it started in 2014, actually over a photo shoot for the Pony Express. I was working as a marketing director for Nevada Day, and we had met several of the Pony Express people, and we needed a female, someone from the 1860s, and Tony Van Cleef had recommended Yvonne Sullivan. And when we had made arrangements for the photo shoot, we all met at breakfast. We had Dennis Doyle, Kristen Cabrin, and Melissa Knight, who are incredible photographers. And Yvonne Sullivan came in, she's from Yerington, dressed in a period-correct 1860s outfit, just stunning. And she sat at breakfast and was telling me about how sometimes they were naughty in camp. And I'm like, naughty? What possibly could you do? And she says, sometimes we let our hair down in camp. And sometimes it's not always tea in our cups.
Oh my goodness,
and
how scandalous.
Sometimes they were known to show ankle in public. I was inspired from that moment on and gathered with other like-minded ladies to have some fun for Carson City and for Nevada and start a group that we could enjoy here that could represent our area and to work to be period correct. And we are not exactly period correct as trying to find fabric or clothing. Some of the Comstock reenactors in the Civil War, battle-born Civil War reenactors, they work so hard to be period correct. Our little group is more about being storytellers, and we've grown from being the Naughty Tea Mistresses into what is now the American Tea Mistresses. We have ladies from other states and countries that are wanting to become tea mistresses. As we've been posting things about tea and good health and manners and different things, it's taken on a life of its own. And the ladies that we have now really want to help in our communities with good manners, volunteerism, patriotism, literacy, and we want to be a part of helping that. I have my little pin on today. I hope it's not upside down. But some of our tea mistresses are also CERT members, Community Emergency Response Teams. And so we're wanting to encourage parents to get out there with their kids and their families for emergency preparedness. So we're wanting to take on what the women before us did with being active in our communities, caring about our kids and our veterans, reading, and good manners, because some of those kids out there, you just want to get a hold of their ears and get a hold of them. And so we're hoping to bring back good manners all through the art of tea.
All right. Now, talking about the art of tea, a number of events take place around the region that the Naughty Tea Mistresses, American Tea Mistresses now.
That's still a wee bit naughty, though.
Are in attendance at. People from around Carson City may have seen you at various events, Nevada Day, of course, the Pony Express reenactment, and some other things that are taking place. How can they know where you're going to be to kind of take part in some of this education and interact with the Naughty Tea Mistresses?
Well, our American Tea Mistresses, we've been invited to lots of charity events. We've got one at the Atlantis coming up for a drug awareness one. You can get a hold of us through our brand new website, American Tea Mistresses, INTL.com, meaning international, because of we're getting ready to have people from all over become tea mistresses. So it's a brand new website. It's not a professional website. I've done it myself with some help. So there may need to be editing on there and things, but we have an application on there. It's $25 a year. We are working towards becoming a nonprofit, and so we are literally starting from scratch and raising money to become a nonprofit because we are. I'm a writer and a photographer, and we're creating a series of mini books that we want to put into the schools and be able to give away. So we want to raise money to be able to go and travel around to all the schools, take these little books of manners, and there's a section in the book that we pause for tea. And so we want to be able to take the boys and girls and have tea and be able to, after talking about manners and opening doors and kindness, compassion, volunteering, how to have polite conversations without a bloody cell phone in their hand, and being able to just communicate and be nice. So we're hoping to help the school systems and help in our community by being some examples of good manners, but with charm, wit, and a whole lot of humor.
All right. Now, tell me, who are the Naughty Tea Mistresses, American Tea Mistresses? It's going to take me a while to get used to that. You've been the Naughty Tea Mistresses for so long. I know that the ladies who are part of the group are modern, involved, engaged citizens of our region, and now as it expands of other areas as well. But who are you being? I know that a lot of the people are actual reenactments of historical people who were really influential in this area.
That is a wonderful question. I myself have taken on the persona of Nellie Varell Miggles Davis. I know, a mouthful. She was actually one of the first woman in history to own a newspaper, and it was right here in Carson City. It was the Morning Appeal back then. And so my persona is a newspaper woman. She was a woman of means and involved in the community. She started the Leisure Hour Club here. She was the first woman to be involved in the Red Cross here. She started the Red Cross here during 1899 during the Spanish-American War. We have Star Harvey Nixdorf, who owns Paradise Salon, Spa, and Wellness, and she is Dr. Eliza Cook. We have Lisa Schutte, who is Annie Martin, and Janet Chick Baker, who's president of Nevada Day. She is Mina Springmeyer, and you'll see the Springmeyer house here. And Diane Ray, and she portrays Mary Matilda Matthews, a dressmaker. And we have Rochelle Cronenberg, who is Eiley Bowers. We have Crystal Blackeye. Oh gosh, she's just beautiful, and she is a Carson Victory Roller. So we have incredible women in our community that have come together for a like-minded cause for not only the sisterhood, but how we can help promote history and emulate these women that came before us in a really good way with these kids and adults. And we also have a little bit of fun with the 1st Nevada Cavalry and the Nevada Civil War Volunteers. So sometimes you'll see us out and about doing some street performances with them. So the ladies that we have out there, they will, in talking to them, when you meet them, they'll be in character, and so you'll get to meet the doc or a newspaper woman. And do you remember hearing about the Corbett Fitzsimons fight, the fight of the century that was here?
Okay.
Right here in Carson City, because no other state had license to have boxing. Well, Nellie was the first woman to cover such an event, and the first woman to ever even cover the state legislature. Because back then, in the late 1860s, it just wasn't proper for women to attend things like that. So at the fight, she was the only woman, other than Soiled Doves, that were there covering the fight. So all of these women have interesting, historic Nevada stories to tell.
All right, which is, in addition to the literacy and manners, is an important thing to keep alive as well, the history of our region.
Yes.
Now, one thing that people, I'm sure, notice, and this is the first thing probably that folks notice about the Tea Mistresses, are your dresses. Talk a little bit about where where these dresses come from. How do you source them? How do you design them and keep them looking accurate and
Okay, that's a good question. When we were first learning about the dresses, Yvonne Sullivan is a master seamstress. And so we learned a lot about cotton and clothing and what the clothing looked like and patterns and corset making, because she even makes corsets. The corset that I'm wearing is a handmade one, which is interesting because that's had a huge resurgence in fashion, of all things. And but you can go to thrift stores, and we're looking for lace and pieces. Now this particular dress that I have on, it's store-bought, and it's from Recollections. And so there is vintage clothing shops out there, thrift stores for lace, patterns. There's lots of incredible talented women here in our area. Lauren Stowell has the American Duchess, and she does period correct shoes, and she does beautiful shoes, and she's in our area. She's become quite famous for her beautiful things. Liza McElway. We've got different women who are historians, so we're really fortunate in our area that with many of the other reenactors, there's historians there. So we're constantly learning, and we work to have as close to period correct as possible. This is late 1800s. It's a bustle dress. But these women would have 7 to sometimes 19 layers of clothing that went with these dresses, from their bonny little stockings that they had, and boots and bloomers or drawers, and with a chemise and corset and cuffs and petticoats. And if it wasn't fluffy enough, you would always just add more petticoats to it, and gloves, and hats. So the ladies back then, compared to how we can just throw on a shirt and a pair of pants and sandals and out the door we go, they took quite a bit of time in everything that they did to have period correct, or not period correct.
At the time it was just correct.
It was just proper.
That was the proper thing to wear.
For the different layers and the corsetry and the things that they had for the silhouettes that went on through the different era. Civil War, the big hoops, the Victorian with the bustles, Edwardian, some of the very big, beautiful hats and ornate beading that went on. So incredible clothing that we see pieces of it now coming back in fashion.
All right. Now talk for a minute. We have here the calendar.
Yes.
Tell us a little bit about the calendar.
The calendar, part of this, we're going to be at the Family Fun event, the Northern Nevada Hotspot Family Fun Center, or Family Fun event at Mills Park on August 27th. So we'll be selling our calendar, and it has fun things about our naughty tea mistresses and our American tea mistresses in here. And so when we say naughty, it's always in good taste and fun. We also have actor Jack Wagon and Billy Mayfield in here, and actress Alana Phillips. We're very proud of all of them. There's Lisa Schutte right there. So we've just got lots of fun here, and there's Crystal. You'd never know she was a Carson Victory roller.
Oh, right.
And so the proceeds from this are to help us raise funds so that we can purchase and have our books printed, and to be able to travel and go to the different places, to be able to support our habit of being a tea mistress out there in the community and representing Nevada and our beautiful Carson City. So we're going to ask everybody to please come and
purchase a calendar. For folks who maybe can't make it to come buy a calendar, how can they contribute if they just really want to further this mission?
Oh, thank you for asking that. We have the website, and so by next week we will have a PayPal account on there, so they can purchase the calendars and the different things that we're going to have on there. We'll have shirts and t-shirts and hankies and tea cloths that say American Tea Mistresses on there. So we'll have lots of fun things, and you can get it online, or see us at any of the different events. We'll be at the Harvest Fest over Nevada Day. August we'll be at the family event at Mills Park. So at any of our booths, but online.
All right. Now, when you are not being an historic newspaper woman and you are being Dana today in the present, one of your roles is serving on the Nevada Day Committee. Tell us a little bit, just a quick sneak peek of some of the things we can expect for this year's Nevada Day downtown with the remodel happening and everything. How's Nevada Day going to be different this year?
Well, I'm not on the Nevada Day Committee anymore, but I'm part of the downtown and part of helping with Cassidy Davis with Northern Nevada Hotspots. But Nevada Day they've got their parade planned. They've got downtown activities going on. So with all of that, you can get a hold of NevadaDay.com or Janet Chick Baker. She's president of Nevada Day and one of our tea mistresses. And this year, one of the new things is Nevada Day has partnered with the Visitors Bureau for marketing. So much of the information and everything that you can get is to go to NevadaDay.com and or go over to the Nevada Day store at 108 West Telegraph Street or the Visitors Bureau for information on Nevada Day.
And I'm sure the tea mistresses will be there as well.
Yes, we will. We will be downtown strolling. We will have a booth and we will be selling our merchandise and taking pictures with the folks and having fun.
All right, that sounds fantastic. Looking forward to it. Thanks for coming and sharing. I know a lot of people have seen the tea mistresses out and about, so I'm sure they will love hearing a little bit more about what goes on with your organization. So thank you so much for coming and sharing with us.
I sure appreciate it. Thank you.
All right, and thanks to all of you for joining us for this week's edition of It's Your City, brought to you by the 3rd and Curry Street Farmers Market in Carson City. If you would like to sponsor a future edition of It's Your City, please contact Darla at the address shown on your screen. I'm your host, Courtney Bloomer. We'll see you next week.